Our top story, Norway expressed increasing concern about the safety of Pfizer vaccine on elderly people with serious underlying health conditions after raising an estimate of the number who died after receiving inoculations to 29. Norwegian officials adjusted their advice on who gets the COVID vaccine in light of a small number of deaths in terminally ill elderly people. Now the latest figure adds 6 to the number of known fatalities in Norway and lowers the age group thought to be affected to 75 from 80.
What we have seen is that we have reports of people dying shortly after being vaccinated. All these people are nursing home patients. They're all very sick and they have a very short lifespan. But what we did see is that some of these patients had fever, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and that could have tipped them over with a very severe underlying disease. In principle, when we started vaccinating, we started in nursing homes. That was our primary goal, to vaccinate every patient in nursing homes. So we vaccinated people who are quite well, but also all the people who are more or less terminally ill. So we expected to have some cases where there will be a short time span from vaccination to the death. So that was expected. But then we saw that maybe, and that is the change we have done, that said that doctors should, if you have terminally ill patients, where maybe it's not appropriate to vaccinate those people.
Well, to talk more about what's happened in Norway, we're now joined by Syed Haider Hussain, Senior Lecturer, the Haugerud School, Norway, and former journalist. Thank you so much for joining us. And, you know, this news has created such a lot of concern across the world. Tell us what is being reported there, and now they've adjusted who gets the vaccine.
I think there is a lot of hue and cry around the world, but not in Norway. Because in Norway, these people who have died due to the side effects of coronavirus, they were frail, they were old, they were terminally ill. So, you know, the average age in Norway is about 90 years. So all these people who live in the old houses, for them, it is already, I mean, they are terminally ill. So people in Norway are not very much concerned about it. As you said, that around the world, people are very concerned. Norway started a vaccination on the eve, Christmas Eve, and so far we have vaccinated more than 42,000 people, and there are about 60,000 Norwegian people have been infected with the coronavirus, and so far we have about 570 deaths in Norway. So I think people are not very much concerned here because the people have trust on their government and their officials. Norwegian Health Department has said that now they will reduce the age because in the beginning they started to vaccinate old people who are very old and sick, but now they have changed their policy to not to give vaccination to the terminally ill people.
Right, because most of the Western countries have started with frontline workers, health workers, and those who are staying in the home for the elderly, etc. So that has been the only impact of the number of these deaths, because that they've adjusted the age of who gets the vaccine.
Yeah, because as I said, that usually in Norway the average age is more than 90 years. So a lot of these terminally ill people who live in the old houses or old, so for them it is already, they are already frail and fragile. So to get vaccination and get some side effects could be fatal for them. So that's why Norwegian authorities decided to not to give vaccination, especially the Pfizer vaccine, because Norwegian authorities approved Pfizer vaccination first, and they started to give Pfizer vaccination, and later on they approved Moderna. Nowadays they are thinking about the third one, the AstraZeneca, which could be approved by 29th of January. So I think all these cases of side effects or fatalities happened with the Pfizer vaccination. So I think they will also take care of that they will not give vaccination to the very old and frail people who are terminally ill.
Right. Mr. Syed Haider, it's interesting, that you point out that many of these people were terminally ill, and it's being seen as, and they've decided now not to give vaccines to such people because it does create confusion when, you have such a large number. When you say that 29 people have died after getting vaccinated, it was a very catchy headline that was shown across the world. But yes, as you pointed out, many of these people were very old, terminally ill even. And tell us about a general, attitude towards vaccination drive there in Norway. Is there vaccine hesitancy there?
No, not at all. The government is sending messages to the people who they have decided to give vaccination first. And there is no hesitation, there is no panic in the society. As I said, that Norwegian people have a lot of faith in the government and government authorities. And, Norway is a very democratic and open society. And every department has, freedom. So there is nobody interfere in others' department. So Norwegian Health Department is very much free, and they can decide on their own. There is no any instructions from the government. What they do, they are free to do. So I think people have a lot of trust in the government, and because government has a credibility. So everything is open, and believe me, there is no panic in the society. There is no hesitation to take vaccine. People are waiting for their turn. People are waiting for their messages. When they will get the message, they can go to the vaccination center and they can get the vaccination free.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Syed Haider Hussain, for speaking to us there from Norway and giving us a perspective from there, because, as I said, this was a very catchy headline that was seen across the world. And as you've been telling us, there's no panic in Norway that this vaccination was with very elderly people, and that has been tweaked slightly now by the authorities there.
Thank you.
Well, news from India, and a 46-year-old government hospital employee in UP's Muradabad died on Sunday evening, 24 hours after he received the COVID vaccine shot. Now, the district's chief medical officer has said that this death is unrelated to the vaccination. Ward boy Mahipal Singh died after complaining of chest congestion and breathlessness. According to his family, he had been unwell before the jab. The post-mortem report says he died of a heart attack. It also has a line that says there's no connection between his death and the vaccine.
मृत्यु का कारण जानने के लिए पोस्टमार्टम कराने का निर्णय लिया गया था। उसके उपरांत 3 डॉक्टरों के पैनल द्वारा उनका पोस्टमार्टम किया गया। पोस्टमार्टम में उनकी मृत्यु का कारण कार्डियोजेनिक शॉक विद सेप्टिसेमिक शॉक पाया गया। उक्त श्री महिपाल जी की मृत्यु में कोरोना वैक्सीन का कोई संबंध नहीं पाया गया। उस दिन जिला अस्पताल में जिन अन्य को भी वैक्सीन लगी थी वो भी सभी स्वस्थ हैं।
हालत पापा जी की सांस फूल रही थी और वो खांस रहे थे।
क्या उससे पहले कोरोना पॉजिटिव तो नहीं थी?
जी नहीं, उससे पहले कोई कोरोना।
इंजेक्शन लगवाने के बाद सांस फूली थी या पहले से बीमारी?
जी नहीं, थोड़ा सा निमोनिया था, खांसी जुकाम जो था नॉर्मली, लेकिन वहाँ से आने के बाद में इनको ज़्यादा तकलीफ होने लगी।
Well, let's talk about the vaccination drive in India, and it is the 3rd day of the program here. Over the last 2 days, that's Saturday and Sunday, over 2.24 lakh people were vaccinated, and there were 447 adverse events related to the vaccine, which were reported mostly minor, like nausea and slight pain. Only 64% of the vaccination target was achieved on day 1, but the government does expect that the numbers will improve in this coming week. Now, in Tamil Nadu, on day 2 of the vaccination drive, they had 3,030 people who got the vaccine against the targeted 15,060 who were expected to get it. Well, to talk more about the vaccination drive, concerns, side effects, we're now joined by Dr. Anurag Agarwal, Director, Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, and we're also joined by Dr. Amar Agarwal, Chairman, Dr. Agarwal's Eye Hospital, and someone who also took the vaccine. So first to you, Dr. Agarwal, tell us about the experience.
Well, I had a very good experience. In Tamil Nadu, they selected the 12 top doctors. And what basically we did here was that we had gone to the MGM Health Institute for vaccination. Basically, there are 2 vaccines. You have the Covishield or the Covaxin. You can take either one, but it's not on our choice.
Right.
Both are absolutely safe and comfortable. I had no pain, no fever, no rash, nothing. So after the vaccination, we need to sit down there for half an hour. It's important because if some reaction occurs, it will happen within the first half an hour. And they have some juice or water available. The corporation people were there. It is absolutely safe and free. One of the main reasons why I went and took this vaccination forward is to get others the confidence to move forward. There is a fear complex not only among the public but even among doctors to take the vaccination. But unless we go ahead and take this vaccination, being in the front line, then only others will follow us and then only this pandemic will come down. Because this fear complex, let us be real, exists in the public.
Right,
and
sir.
We need to get
sir, it does, what vaccine did you get? And it does seem in Tamil Nadu there is a lot of reluctance, especially because, you know, you have a sizable number of Covaxin shots and Covishield shots. So, you know, we've seen this from day one. And as we said yesterday, the target was over 15,000, but only 3,000 got the vaccine.
So I took the Covishield vaccine, but some doctors have taken the Covaxin also. Both are safe. What you are saying is absolutely correct. There is a fear to come forward. And that is the reason why we went forward to be the first to take the vaccine, to get others the confidence to go ahead. One point to remember is this. If you take the first dosage as Covishield, the second should also be Covishield. You cannot mix and match. If you take first as Covaxin, the second should also be Covaxin. Now, I have taken it the first dosage. Immediately when I gave that thing, an SMS came from the corporation saying that so-and-so the vaccine has been done, etc. Now, exactly after 28 days, they will send me again an SMS to come for the second dosage. So after the second dosage, I suggest people to be comfortable for 3 weeks at least for the antibodies to develop. And then you're much better off. But if we continue in this path forward, where everyone is getting vaccinated, this pandemic will get crushed and we'll get back to our routine. The answer is very simple. Unless all of us get it, we will not move forward.
All right, let me go across to Dr. Anurag Agarwal as well. And sir, your comments on it's been today's the third day of the vaccination drive. There have been over 400, what they call very minor reactions. We do have this case in Uttar Pradesh in which a hospital ward boy died a day after the vaccine, but the post-mortem report says he died of a heart attack and it was unrelated to the vaccine. Your comments on that?
So I'll make my comment in a very simple way. If all people got vaccinated today, tomorrow there would certainly be some events. Would that be because of the vaccine? One would not be able to say. So at the scale we are vaccinating with lakhs of people vaccinated already, in the natural course of events, a few people were likely to fall sick anyway. This would not be because of the vaccine. The best thing to look at is the clinical trial data where available and see that these vaccines have been very safe. And the percentage of people having effects is very small. And amongst them, the ones with significant or severe effects is smaller still. So exactly as Dr. Saab said before me, these are very safe vaccines, tested over a long period of time. And it is not likely that what we are hearing in Uttar Pradesh is directly linked to this.
Right.
Now, on the other hand, I was listening to your comment on other vaccines which have very high immunogenicity. And again, you would see that what we are hearing from outside India is in very old, very frail people and does not have to be linked to the vaccine itself.
All right, that exactly. And authorities there in UP have said it's not related to the vaccine. But let me get in some viewer questions as well. Let's just listen into one of these viewer questions that has been sent regarding the vaccine.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम नंदिता है, मैं भोपाल से हूँ। मेरा सवाल ये है कि कोरोना वैक्सीन लगवाने से पहले हमको कोई एलर्जी टेस्ट करवाने की ज़रूरत है या इसकी कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है? धन्यवाद।
Right, Dr. Amar, she wants to know if you need to get yourself tested for allergies before you take the vaccine.
मैंने कोई एलर्जी टेस्ट नहीं लिया था. I did not have any allergic test required. Suppose you don't need it actually, and they have not asked for it specifically. But if someone has got some specific allergy, my suggestion is to tell the doctor when you're going for the vaccination and update them. That's why I told you that they ask us to sit down there for half an hour to take rest. Suppose some reaction develops, they will know how to treat that immediately. It's extremely important. See, the vaccination was started first by Edward Jenner in 1719. After so many years, see the amount of people vaccination has saved. We have to be realistic about this and understand this is the way forward if you want to move ahead. One more thing I would like to mention at this stage is our central Prime Minister, Union Minister, Health Minister, all of them have done such a great job, and even our state in Tamil Nadu, especially our Chief Minister and Health Minister, because I saw the system not very transparent but very comfortable.
Okay.
And that's the big plus.
All right, well, let's listen in to the next question.
नमस्ते, मैं नितिशा पूना से। मेरा सवाल ये है कि अक्सर देखा गया है कि जब कोई वैक्सीन आती है उसको 4 से 5 साल लगते हैं, पर ये वैक्सीन 1 साल के अंदर ही आई है, तो इसका कोई साइड इफेक्ट्स होने के डर नहीं है? थैंक यू।
Right, Dr. Anurag, I'll give this to you, and I think this is a concern that has been we've been answering for many months now, you know, regarding how fast this vaccine has been produced and whether we know the long-term side effects. So what would you say to that question?
So let me take the hardest part first. In absence of long-term data, it is impossible for anybody to say what long-term problems may be. But then let me reduce this doubt by saying that these vaccine types, at least the two being used in India, Covaxin and Covishield, are based on platforms for which we have a long history of use. So we do not expect there to be any long-term problems based on the platform being old, even though the current vaccine, the exact antigen we are giving, being new. And so on the whole, I would not think there is much worry. Ultimately, all vaccination, as Dr. Saab said before me, is about risk versus benefit. In India at this time, we are giving the vaccination to those people who are high risk, like frontline health workers, and any small risks that might exist are very small when compared to the potential benefits. And of course, as we go to the next target population, elderly and people with comorbidities at risk for severe disease, the same will hold true.
All right, we have a question on Twitter as well. Someone wants to know the long-term effectiveness of the vaccinations and, you know, what if a COVID patient takes the vaccine? Of course, that we know you're not supposed to take it. How long do antibodies last? And the UK study found only 5 months. Dr. Amar?
Basically, look, this is a new procedure because, as you have said very correctly, normal vaccines take 4-5 years for assessment, but we have taken it within 1 year. So with time, we will realize the answers more and more. But the reality is the antibodies are there, they will form and they will protect us. If someone has got COVID already positive, don't take it till the whole thing subsides sometime. So I suggest at least 3 months for them to wait. But otherwise, the results are very good.
All right, we have a question from Mr. Surya Vanshi that if the vaccination is effective, then why are we asking to wear masks and all? Because this is something that all doctors have been emphasizing, that even if you take the vaccine, you have to continue following all the COVID protocols. Dr. Anurag, if you could answer that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the vaccine is effective in a statistical term. No vaccine is 100% effective. What we know is the mRNA vaccine seems to be 90%, 95% effective. We know that the base vaccine for Covishield, which is the AstraZeneca one, the Oxford vaccine, is maybe in the 70% range. We don't have an equivalent number for Covaxin, but Sinovac, the similar vaccine from China based on inactivated virus, was somewhere around the 50-60% zone. So at a population level, in preventing the spread of the virus, these are very important public health measures. But nothing is 100% effective. And exactly as was mentioned by Dr. before me, that we are still learning, and it will be advisable for people. They don't know which half they belong to, the people for whom the vaccine gave good antibody response, or maybe the smaller fraction in whom antibodies may not have formed well. It is best to continue taking precautions until we have a better sense of these numbers, especially when the precautions don't cost us much and may be helping the nation.
All right, so must continue following all those protocols. Any last word that you have, Doctor?
Well, basically, I would agree with what Anurag has mentioned on all points. What he said is we need that mask on because it's extremely important for us to be safe till this whole pandemic comes down. That's not so difficult for all of us. But the final message I want to tell everyone is please get out of the fear complex which we are having. We need to get the vaccinated, let the country move forward, and that is the way forward. And final thing, do not mix your vaccine dosages on the first dosage and the second dosage. See that they are both of the same brand.
All right. Well, thank you so much, doctors, for joining us and sparing your time and answering all those questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, with that, time for us to slip into a short break. More news on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now on day 3 of India's vaccination drive against coronavirus, Dr. Devi Shetty, top cardiac surgeon in the country, received his vaccine shot in Bengaluru. He spoke to NDTV on the apprehensions that surround the topic of vaccine and the challenges that now lie ahead.
Joining us right now is Dr. Devi Shetty, top Indian cardiac surgeon, founder, chairman of Narayana Health Specialty Center. Sir and doctor, congratulations. Your first thoughts and how do you feel after taking the vaccine shot?
I feel great. I'm very, very proud of my nation. I'm proud to be an Indian today.
Okay. So how do you think India has fared in its COVID fight?
We should be very, very proud of India. We should be proud of our government. The way government has worked in developing the vaccine, encouraging all the industries to develop and also distribute it in such a record period of time. Every Indian must know that there are only 5 countries in the world which have the capability to make vaccine and distribute it, and we are one of them. Now the task left for all of us is to vaccinate half of our country's population in a record period of time, and I am confident we can do it in 2 months with just 34,700 nurses. It is possible.
So what are the numbers we're looking at? How many people in 2 months?
We are looking at, my suggestion, of course, this is just a theoretical suggestion, 34,770 nurses. If each one takes 1 minute to vaccinate, and they are supported by a huge infrastructure, support documentation done by the final year BSc BCom students in a large campus like this, we can vaccinate 500 million people in 2 months. And nurses will continue to work in the hospital. They 8-hour shift. All they do is they do extra 4 hours of overtime.
Which vaccine did you get today?
I have to find out. 1 minute, 1 minute. Which vaccine I took? Which vaccine is this? Huh? It is Covishield.
It is the Covishield vaccine. Would you have minded if it was Covaxin?
I wouldn't have minded, but obviously I would have checked, like all the other doctors, the documentation.
Well, that's all the time we have on the show today. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.